A sudden thought just hit me about next week's final. We haven't had a main character death since Andrew DeLuca in season 17. That was over 4 years ago, though, in Showtime, maybe just 2-ish. Either way, we're long overdue. Someone's definitely not making it out of next week alive. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, please let it be Owen. Honestly, if anyone's going to bite the bullet, it's probably Lucas. It feels like they have no idea what to do with him anymore. And look, I know this is a super unpopular opinion, but hear me out. Some of my favorite episodes are the ones where a main character dies. They just do death and drama so well on this show. It's a train wreck that you can't look away from. I want to feel bad for enjoying it, but I don't. But hey, if anyone's going to go, I'm putting my money on Amelia. Alright, I know this topic has been beaten to death already, but I'm rewatching Grey's Anatomy for the billionth time and just have to know, who else's hearts got obliterated by these deaths? I'll go first. Main character death, Lexi. Hands down, always Lexi. She was my absolute favorite, and when she died, I was wrecked. Honestly, I feel like this is probably a popular opinion, but whatever, it's true. Patient death. Okay, this one hits hard too. I'll never forget little Jessica, the girl Bailey held as she passed away. That whole scene with her dad desperately trying to find some miracle treatments while his daughter was fading, absolutely soul-crushing. And Eli Rigler, the rabbi who helped April find her faith, his death was another one that wrecked me. One of you said you can't pick just one main character, and honestly, I get it. Derek, Mark, Lexi, DeLuca, they all crushed me in different ways. Saddest patient death, the little girl whose dad was frantically scrambling for treatments. He was so determined to save her, even as she was dying. The doctors had to break it to him that she was already gone, and then he just talked to her and held her through the whole transition. Heartbreaking. And then there's O'Malley. I'm still not over that one. His death hit different, man. Patient death that gets me, Evie Roy. Single. Time. The smart little kid whose mom had to chant him to sleep. That bad dreams, go away chant. Kill me. Also, I have to throw in Doc the dog. I know, Doc wasn't technically a patient, but it was still devastating. He was a huge part of Meredith's life and her story, so yeah, I'm counting it. But can we talk about the most heartbreaking patient death? That poor woman Marshall, the Mercy West intern, killed when he fell asleep at the wheel. He just wanted to apologize, and when her dad walked in, I was ready to brace for impact, thinking he'd go off. But no, he just puts a hand on Marshall's shoulder, and Marshall breaks down. I sob every single time. Kate Havnivik's song absolutely wrecks me in that moment. Bo and Wallace? Arizona and his mom whispering their goodnight to him over his body. Don't even get me started. But back to the main characters, Lexi and Mark, both tied together for me. They both went out so tragically, it's just so unfair. Lastly, the saddest patient death for me is probably the rabbi, Eli. His role in April's crisis of faith was so huge, and losing him was just brutal, right up there with Henry. Teddy's grief after losing Henry, I just couldn't handle watching her fall apart. That was tough. Does anyone actually like Simone and Lucas as a couple? Spoiler alert for the latest episode. But seriously, did anyone else cheer when they finally broke up? I mean, I can't be the only one who saw zero chemistry between them. It's like they were trying so hard to force the whole Meredith and Derek vibe, but it's just not landing. Do they even like each other? I genuinely think Simone deserves better, like maybe a spontaneous hookup with the new guy at the bar. But of course, we know all the messy drama is coming when Lucas finds out. I like them both individually, but together? Yikes. Simone is this quirky, lovable people pleaser who holds the group together, and Lucas is clearly a solid doctor who genuinely cares. But when they're together, it's like he's just dragging down her energy. They never seem like they're actually enjoying each other's company. Before Simone ran away from her wedding, I could almost feel some spark, but after that, it's just been so forced. I had no idea they were supposed to be the new murder. I feel nothing. Honestly, I just want them to move on and find better storylines. Lucas, he kind of reminds me of a petulant child, so unless they give him a personality makeover, I'm not sure I'm gonna stick around to see where this goes. Gray Sloan Hospital must have the worst building design ever. I mean, how else do you explain the doctors developing brain tumors left and right? Or maybe it's just the tequila. Because seriously, I've never seen people do multiple shots and not end up blacking out or passed out on the floor. Let's do a quick tally here. Richard had 1 in Season 1, Amelia had 1 in Season 14, and don't forget Nicole Herman in Season 11. Is there anyone else? Because honestly, I feel like brain tumors aren't exactly a recurring storyline. So I'm kind of scratching my head at how this constant tumor crisis narrative keeps coming up. Maybe the building's full of asbestos or something. I lost interest in Grey's around Season 11, and by Season 12, I was just skimming through the scenes with the characters I liked. Season 14 finale, that was the final nail in the coffin. But hey, if I missed any good storylines, I'm all ears. Spoil me, I'm not picky. Honestly, I only started rewatching because it's good background noise while I work, and I'll admit it, early seasons were just so much better. There was humor, a lot more lightheartedness. Now it's like surgery with a side of existential dread. Anyway, did I miss anything worth watching? Any new characters worth getting invested in? I mean, I love D. Karasik, rip, buddy, but once April and Arizona left, I kind of checked out. And wait, Season 21. I didn't even realize it had been going on that long. Now I feel conflicted. Do I finish what I started, or just cut my losses? It's hard to say because, well, it's all subjective. Seasons 15 to 18 were, let's be real, rough, especially 17. Thanks, COVID. But the recent ones? Some people really liked them, especially the interns introduced in Season 19. Honestly, that was the only thing that gave the show a little spark again for me. You could always keep it as a backup show, like, oh, nothing else to watch, might as well catch up on Grey's. Or, just let it go. The show has definitely outgrown some people, and that's perfectly fine too. New episode, Jesus US. Owen Hunt seriously cannot keep it in his pants. Like, come on dude. You just fixed your marriage, and now suddenly everyone's falling in love with you? Really? Of course, now someone's telling you they love you, and Teddy has to go through this mess again. You'd think this would be the final straw for them. Teddy should have just stayed with Karasik, or however you spell it, but you know who I mean. I'm doing a rewatch, currently on Season 8, so I get to be constantly enraged by Owen, week after week. Honestly, Owen really is the worst. But to be fair, he already had feelings for her, and yeah, he slept with her. So now, because she's dying, he wants to comfort her. That's a whole mess of emotions right there. But here's the thing, he's already in love with her, and Teddy knows it. This isn't some random, spur-of-the-moment, I love you situation. It's been there, done that. Honestly though, Teddy and Owen need to just break up. I don't even like Owen's character anyway, he's a total jerk. But you know what I would like to see? A gay Teddy storyline, because the show keeps teasing us with these storylines and then taking them away. Like, don't do us dirty after the whole Jules and Micah thing, and not even giving us Amelia and Beltran. At this point, we deserve something real. Meg Marnus weighs in on the Simone and Lucas situation, and it's clear she's not sugarcoating anything. Marnus opens with, so was that a breakup, or just a we're on a break kind of deal? That's the million-dollar question heading into the finale. Is Lucas going to come running back to Simone after watching that joyous wedding? Is he going to realize he messed up after their heated conversation? And is Simone going to come clean about what happened at the bar? She's not convinced this relationship can survive. Look, it needs to be a breakup, she says bluntly. The honeymoon phase was cute, but since then, it's been a disaster. I've been Team Lumone from the start, but after what happened in episode 17, and everything they've been fighting about without actually listening to each other. I'm done. They need to end this. They've got no chance if they keep up this cycle. Meredith calls out the way Simone's character is being written, likening her to a younger Meredith Grey. They're trying to portray Simone as this completely broken person who can't imagine a future or positive outcomes for herself. She's supposed to be the professional genius with a personal life that's a total wreck. And the way she's sabotaging her relationship with Lucas, it's all because he dared to talk about their future together. She's self-sabotaging, and it's painful to watch. When it comes to Lucas, Meredith isn't sure how long he's going to wait. I don't know how many seasons we're going to get before Simone pulls herself together and realizes that Lucas is the one. But I also don't know how long Lucas will stick around before someone like Rose comes into the picture and catches his eye. It's a sobering take, but one that makes it clear, unless Simone gets her act together, this relationship's toast. Ah, the mystery of Joe and the disappearing bar scenes. It's wild, right? They used to be a regular hangout, with Joe as the heart of it all, but suddenly, it feels like the place just stopped getting the love it deserved. Joe's got her moments here and there, like that one drunk episode. But after the whole DeLuca incident, it's like she's vanished from the bar scene entirely. I mean, it's almost as if they forgot how central she was in the early seasons. As for Joe himself, he was written off in season 7, and while some fans have speculated that budget cuts played a part, it still feels weird. You've got a bar that's still mentioned in episodes, but the actual character of Joe, gone. It almost feels like they kept the bar around for nostalgia, but then just decided Joe wasn't necessary anymore, despite the fact that it was a vital part of the show for so long. Maybe the budget constraints made them cut the character, but it's a head-scratcher for sure. I totally get where you're coming from. Owen really is the worst, especially with all the intense, over-the-top behavior. Here are a few of my personal favorite Owen's the worst moments. The way he relentlessly pressured Christina into having kids, like, dude, chill. Not everyone is ready to start a family just because you think it's the next step. She was clear about her boundaries, and he just bulldozed right over them. His whole "you killed our child" screaming moment? Absolutely disgusting. Not only was he emotionally abusive, but he didn't even take the time to understand what Christina was going through. His tantrum was totally out of line. His entry into the series? Seriously? Just randomly picking up Christina and not telling anyone or asking for help. It was like the show thought it was being edgy, but it was just sloppy and inconsiderate of Christina's autonomy. And let's talk about him refusing to give a woman a medical abortion just to get back at Amelia. That's a level of petty and vindictive that I can't even wrap my head around. Then he's all "I'm the hero" when he helps people with assisted deaths, even though he was totally unwilling to help the other woman in need. So many double standards, it's infuriating. His treatment of Amelia? He completely invalidated her journey of self-discovery and healing when he accused her of not wanting kids with him. Like, wow, Owen, way to disregard everything she's been through. And the moment with Betty, laughing at addiction in front of Amelia like it's some sort of joke. How tone-deaf can you get? And the ginger moment with Weber? Priceless, because it showed Owen's utter inability to take a joke, even one about himself. His seriousness is just exhausting. I'm honestly convinced the only reason anyone tolerates him is because of his "woe is me" act. But once you look deeper, it's clear he's a mess of entitlement and emotional immaturity. Erica Hahn. So I'm rewatching Grey's again, and I've just hit the season where Erica shows up. And honestly, I can't bring myself to fully hate her. I mean, she's basically everything we love to hate about the male surgeons. Arrogant, confrontational, and more than a little self-important. And let's be real, we don't exactly love McDreamy for those exact reasons. I personally can't stand the guy. So here's my question. Was the hate for Erica because she was the same as the guys, but, a woman? I mean, look at Bailey. She's a hardest too. But we've had her since the start, so we've had time to warm up to her. Erica waltzes in much later, and suddenly, we're supposed to accept this level of intensity from a new character. I think I might be in the minority here, but I liked Erica. She brought something to the table that the show needed at the time. Sure, she could have kept her opinions about Callie's sexuality to herself, but overall, she didn't annoy me as much as everyone else. Hashtag sorry not sorry, and yes, obligatory hashtag fuck Owen Hunt. I stand by it. I don't feel hypocritical either. I hated Shepard and Sloane just as much. Sloane's arrogance was next level, and Karev? Don't even get me started. Burke, on the other hand, I'm fine with. For me, it's not about the arrogance or aggression. I actually kind of respect it. What really gets me is how people treat their subordinates. That's how you can tell what kind of person they really are. And let me tell you, Erica, the way she talks down to people, not cool. She can be aggressive with her peers all she wants. But when she shuts down the people below her, that's when I lose all respect. I mean, at least Shepard wasn't terrible with the interns and residents, aside from the Meredith mess, of course. Sloane? Yeah, he and Erica could probably form a club. But then you've got Burke and Addison, who, surprisingly, actually wanted the residents to succeed. And because of that, they come off as way more likable. I'd never get that sense from Erica. Her character definitely had some interesting points, but the fact that she was so okay with letting Christina's training just go to waste. Total BS. Teddy, on the other hand, loved Owen, but still managed to mentor Christina. That's the difference between a good doctor and a bad one. Erica did have some solid observations, like about Izzy and those awful gentlemen's nights, but she was just such a terrible teacher. It was like she couldn't separate her personal stuff from her job. So in the end, thumbs down to Erica. She can go back to Buffalo. Also, Catherine Fox probably would have said the exact same thing. The Nora case is literally the perfect opportunity to bring Christina Yang back. But of course, it's all a fantasy. Nora, this patient with a rare, never-been-done-before condition who also happens to be Teddy's patient and close friend of Owen, would be the perfect excuse to get Christina in for just one episode. She runs this high-tech, cutting-edge hospital that does the kind of things nobody else even dares to try. But alas, I know Sandra Oh has made it pretty clear over the years that she's done with Christina. Still, a person can dream, right? I was also holding out hope they'd bring back Riggs and Megan, since Nora's buddies with her, but let's be real. Riggs just didn't hold a candle to Burke, Christina, Teddy, Maggie, or even Winston. Here's hoping Teddy's plan works, though. Fingers crossed. Ah, yes, Christina did give Leah a nickname. It's a classic example of Christina's dry, sarcastic humor. Initially, she was going to call Leah Droopy because Leah was a little down and out. But then, Leah surprised Christina by doing something impressive, and Christina couldn't help but change her tune. Christina's reaction was something like this. Look at the new girl. I was going to call her Droopy, but now I'm thinking Perky. So in the end, Leah earned the nickname Perky, at least for that moment. It's a perfect example of how Christina's sarcasm comes with a bit of an edge, but also a hint of respect when someone impresses her. Aha, the musical episode, where Grey's Anatomy said, why not throw in a few spontaneous musical numbers amid all the trauma? Honestly, I've never been more confused and delighted. A few weeks ago, I decided to restart the whole show, mainly because I was so tired of the current storylines. But there was one episode that always stuck with me from when I was younger, the infamous musical episode. I know, a lot of people love to hate on it, calling it a mess, but hear me out. I still love it just as much now as I did back then. Maybe it's because I remember watching it with my mom and singing along. I was so into it. Sure, the whole thing is definitely out there, and let's be honest, some of the cast really needed their mix taken away. But Sarah Ramirez belting out The Story by Brandi Carlile? Unironically, my favorite version of that song ever. Years later, I'm still blown away by Sarah's voice and the raw emotion she brought to that scene. It's one of those moments where I just wonder if anyone else felt as moved as I did, or if I was just really, really in love with Sarah back then. And then there's Owen, who, let's be real, I usually can't stand, but even I can't deny that his harmony with Callie on Chasing Cars gets me every single time. No shame,